My name is Sally Jacobs. I'm archivist for the McCormick International Harvester Collection at the Wisconsin Society. 2016, and I'm here at the Red Power Roundup at the Racine County Fairgrounds. I'm sitting with Alex McGilvray, who is a former IE, and he's here to share stories about his history with the company.
Very good.
Excellent. You should probably come in a little closer.
My harvester career started about 1961 in Los Angeles. I advised of an opening in the district office by a fellow who I'd gone to school with.
Mm-hmm.
And that worked out pretty well. I was there for about a year, and I was recalled into the service again via pigs. So I missed a year, but those days military service was forgiven or bridged. So even though I was gone in my second year of employment, I got credit.
You mean as far as retirement?
As far as retirement pension.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice. So when I came back in about 62 or 3, I was assigned as a zone manager covering the state of Arizona. And I was there for about 3 years. We worked out of the Los Angeles office. 3 zones in the LA office. Tony Gotelli was the zone manager in the lower San Joaquin Valley out of Bakersfield. Jim Madison was the zone manager in the Coachella Valley. And I covered Arizona. We did that for about 3 years. I was transferred then to Fresno, on that zone, which kind of covered the area between Fresno and Bakersfield. And I was only there for about a year. I got drafted to Tifton, Georgia, as a sales training instructor. Tifton, Georgia, sales training school. I was down there with 3 or 4 other individuals. I was there for about 3 years. Thornton was the supervisor. Walt Mayer was a training instructor. John Fox was a training instructor. Bill Kleckner was a training instructor. As I said, for about 3 years. Lots of outside work. Lots of gnats in Georgia.
Oh.
Lots of rattlesnakes.
I don't know about the rattlesnakes.
So after my 3-year stint there, I was transferred to Omaha, Nebraska.
Oh.
And that district office was led by Hale Holman, was the district manager. And there I was a supervisor of product knowledge.
Oh.
And that office covered western Iowa and most of the state of Nebraska. And I did that for about a year and a half.
Can I ask a follow-up question?
Sure.
What is a supervisor of product knowledge?
Well, he's the individual that's supposed to be the fountain of information.
Right, but they can't make that a job
for
title.
the dealers and the salespeople in that organization.
Like one person to call.
Yeah. And since I'd spent 3 years in the training center, it was a logical connection.
Yeah. Did you feel like you had the necessary knowledge? I mean,
I put on an awful lot of meetings about the product.
Yeah.
Part of it, I think, paid off. No problem. And when I was a training instructor in Georgia, it was under the guidance of Dale Stivers, who decided that he had an opening in Chicago. Will be fulfilled. And so I was transferred from Omaha to the general office in Chicago. And I was there for quite a period of time, involved in promotional activities, following sales campaigns. Sales supervisor on the Canadian product, the log skidders and the small crawlers. Sales supervisor on industrial tractors, loaders and backhoes.
Right.
And Harvester then purchased a small excavator manufacturer in France, Jumbo. And I was assigned as the product sales supervisor for excavators, introducing them to the U.S. distribution. That was wild. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah. Sounds like you got to keep learning new things, too,
Yeah.
which is...
I'd be in the office on Monday, be on the road Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and luckily maybe back on Saturday.
Oh, really? Almost every week?
Yeah, every week. Putting on demonstrations, the machines. That was good. I really enjoyed that.
Did you like the travel part, or was that...
I was single. It didn't make any difference.
Right.
You know?
Wow.
Spent a lot of time in airplanes.
Yeah, well, back when flying was
Almost,
nicer than it is
fun.
today. Almost fun. That's
Almost fun.
When
yeah.
there was silverware.
There was.
They fed you a real meal. There was like a cloth napkin sometimes.
And you might actually be on a late flight where there were empty seats around.
Yeah. Lots of cigarette smoke, though.
I didn't even think about that.
That was the bad part. So I just want to ask you about being in Chicago, because for someone who's the archivist for the collection but is in Madison, did Chicago feel like an IH town? Like, did it feel like...
Well, it did because there was the plant still running in Melrose Park,
Yeah.
making crawler tractors.
Such a long history there.
There's still a West Pullman plant making fuel injection systems. Of course, Indianapolis and Fort Wayne were not that far away.
Nope, not very far at all.
Yeah, I kind of seen in Wisconsin Steel.
Yep.
Was alive and well at the time.
Yes, it was.
It didn't do well later on, but
No.
and
Because it looks that way from the outside, sort of, you know?
when I joined, the office was in the Equitable building.
Right. Ooh, nice.
It was cool.
Yeah. I love Chicago. I have a place in my heart for it.
I lived in a northern suburb. In the summertime, I took the car to the train.
Yeah.
Took the train to the boat.
Oh,
and
no way.
And I took the Wendella cruise from the boat from the train station to the general office.
Genius.
It was really a hoot. I did it. I did it every Monday, but usually the rest of the week I was somewhere else.
Yeah. Oh, right. Because you were traveling. Well, you might as well make that Monday the best commute ever, right?
So at some point in time, I kind of made a transfer from agricultural equipment to construction and industrial equipment.
So you stuck with it.
Yeah,
you made that
still with Harvester.
Yeah.
And there was always some reorganization going on. Creation of a pay line division or pay line group occurred. Can't really remember when, but I was appointed service manager for that group. And that was kind of an eye-opening experience. I had service experience.
Right. Again, new, right?
My degree in agricultural engineering. But we organized the service organization. We had offices in Melrose Park to start with, and in Elk Grove Village, in Schaumburg. And then things began to fall apart.
Yeah, right. I mean, there's a lot of Illinois stories like that. Caterpillar.
There was a lot of changing going on, but in many cases, my phone number never changed. Never changed, just the name on the paycheck.
That's an interesting observation,
which was a degree of comfort.
Oh, that's yeah, you know, one of the things that as an archivist, I'm hoping that collecting these stories will sort of flush out are the old directories. Because I can tell you that's not part of the corporate. Nobody at corp, you know, it's like ephemeral. Like that's last year's. If I'd been there, I would have been like, no, save it. They have photos, right, attached to names.
Yeah,
it's gold. So put out the word if you know anyone who happened to bring that home. It seems so almost impossible, and it's probably. However, if I don't say that out loud, I definitely will not get any.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Keep
So I'm hoping
throwing
that
out
some
the bait.
grandkid, right, found it in grandpa's stuff and kept it just because it's cool, right? All those engineers, black ties and the suits.
Thought about that.
Yeah, I know. That's how archivists think. We're a breed apart.
With the creation of a payline group, and then IH sale began to occur. So it's a dresser.
Oh, right.
But in between Harvester and Dresser, there was an interim where Jules Legler, who was the president of the CE division, developed, promoted, launched a small company called International Huff.
Oh, yeah.
And that was a transition between the Harvester name and the Huff division that was located in Libertyville. And fortunately, that survived. Without that, there would have been nothing thereafter.
Like it was a bridge.
It was a bridge.
Wow.
Yeah. So Dresser down in Dallas.
Yeah.
And so they picked up construction equipment business that had been Harvester. We picked up the Galleon Ironworks in Ohio, had been separate. We picked up the Hull Pack division in Peoria. So they gradually acquired a group that was called Dresser Construction and Mining Equipment.
Wow.
Stayed in a product support role in that activity, both warranty, sales, and
So was the mining stuff different from the construction stuff? Was that another degree of
Only that when they picked up the Peoria organization with
Yeah.
Hallpack, that was all mining trucks, electric mining trucks.
Right. Yeah.
So that was where the mining side of it kind of
Right.
came into play.
But the engine, right? Same sort of specs needed,
Yeah,
right? It has to
construction
be
equipment,
super
but the larger
powerful,
stuff used in the mining environment. And then we marched along that way for probably 6 years, maybe, I guess. And then the Japanese manufacturer, Komatsu,
right?
introduced themselves.
That's I've never heard it phrased quite like that. That's excellent.
Introduced is a good
Yes,
way. We looked at
yes.
it as a merger. They looked at it as a takeover.
Right.
Kind of spawned out that way. So I actually retired in '97 from Komatsu,
Right.
having been in their quality assurance manager for 4 or 5 years. That was kind of interesting because they were taking over a lot of the dresser and harvester manufacturing facilities in the States.
Right.
So those organizations did not have the exposure to the QA programs that they were so proud of. So, and I was the bridge.
You were the bridge in this case.
I was supposed to be the bridge.
Did you feel like you weren't, or?
Well, I tried to be the bridge.
I suspect you were.
Several trips to Japan to learn their quality programs. And
terrible job.
To implement those
jealous.
with the domestic organization.
Yeah. Wow, and that's like a
interesting.
whole nother new set. I mean, that sort of international and cross-cultural work.
Yeah.
That's like had you. I think that's good. I mean, I think that's what makes a job continuously rewarding. Easy. Yeah.
By '97, I'd had enough of it.
Oh, I hear you. I mean, it still is work, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not.
One of the interesting tie-ins with Komatsu, my wife working for a law firm in Elkhorn, Wisconsin, who had been involved in the establishment of the Kikkoman soy sauce company in Walworth.
Which is a Wisconsin.
She was working with Kikkoman in Walworth. I was working with Komatsu in Libertyville.
It's a fun coincidence.
Yeah. So we both had stories to tell.
Did she get to
Japanese
come to Japan with you? Like, did you
She
travel
did.
together?
Once for sure.
Nice.
He was well taken care of by Komatsu.
Oh,
by Kikkoman.
I would like Kikkoman to bring me to Japan as well.
It was very good.
You have a good retirement party?
I think so.
You think so? Should we ask the other people who were there? You say you don't remember?
It was kind of a hard thing because although I was retiring from Komatsu, most of the people that I associated with had been ex-harvesters.
Right.
And so many of the Komatsu organizations were very youthful.
Oh, sure.
I mean, they had field people that had just right out of school.
Yeah, that's a whole other
lacked
cultural divide too.
Lacked a lot of personal skills.
Oh, that doesn't help.
So the organization from Dresser and Harvester, I think, was more supported by the dealer and distributor organization because it was a warmer relationship than. But anyway, it was good all the way around.
Good.
And retirement has been even better.
I know. I've heard tell of such things. I hope I will also be able to join.
There's a small group of us that get together usually every August, 6 or 8 of us, that together with International and with Dresser.
Yeah. See, now we should put a mic in the middle of the table, guys, while you're together, because right, the more you remember, the more you remember. And a name, someone's gonna have one story about that person. Someone's gonna have. Thank you, Alex. This was lovely.
Well, thank you for the opportunity.